Today, I'm going to tell you why I never, ever, ever use autotune on vocals, and also why I use it all the time. Hello everyone, I'm Pat, and welcome back to another video. For those of you who don't know me, I've been a musician for more than 20 years and make all sorts of videos about being a musician. So tips and tricks, reviews, gear stuff, playthroughs, courses, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So if you're new here and that's something you're into, consider subscribing. Autotune, also known as pitch correction. Boy, do people love hating that. There are a lot of artists who've spoken out against it and that have even made a point not to use it. And you can find a lot of people on YouTube who love to shit on autotune. The main reason why people hate autotune or pitch correction is because, well, it corrects the mistakes that you might make when you're singing. And people feel like it might be cheating or it might be sort of a shortcut to actually singing well. The technology is so advanced that sometimes you can barely tell if someone's using autotune or not. And that can be really frustrating to those of us who spent years singing and trying to work our craft and trying to sing on pitch. So what do I think about it? Well, you can tell from the intro that I'm actually split in the middle. I think it's okay to use it sometimes, and in other cases, I would never use it. I want to prove my point by playing 3 musical examples of different styles. In all 3, I'm the person who's singing, and in all 3, there was a different approach to pitch correction. The first example is from my band Horse Dog, and it goes like this.
Chase the moonlight, dog. Winds like razors in her eye. Spinning insects, kicking gravel. Catches ahead and goes behind.
When we made this album, we made it our mission not to use pitch correction. Not because we think that we're better than the rest of them, but rather because the album and the whole concept of the band was heavily inspired by 70s rock. And back in that day, well, you didn't have that kind of technology. If you fucked up, you either did it again or you went with that mistake and you just rolled with it. So specifically in that context, we never would have used pitch correction. We wanted to keep it real, keep it bluesy, human, and imperfect, and in that context, autotune really didn't work. The next example is a different approach and is from my old band, Bad Captain. Let's listen. When we recorded that album, we were a bit more forgiving when it came to make mistakes. Not only that, but we also used pitch correction as somewhat of a creative tool to support the lead vocal. So what you just heard, the lead vocal has no pitch correction or autotune whatsoever, and then some of the back vocals have some, but only to support the melody. So we wanted to make sure that the back vocals were all on pitch and perfect, so that they would almost create this sort of pad or synth or beautiful harmonic sort of pillow for the melody to then do its thing and do those bluesy notes. That's a technique I love using all the time when I produce vocals, having a lead vocal in the center and then having back vocals on the sides that have some sort of pitch correction and that support the lead vocal. But more on that in another video. I'm going to teach you how I do that soon. The last track you're going to hear is something I wrote and recorded about 5 years ago, and it's called You Were Mine.
You were
Now, in You Were Mine, there is autotune all over the place, and that's because when I produced it, I thought it was faithful to the style of music. There's a lot of vocals from what you can hear, and a lot of that same technique has been applied, where the back vocals have a lot of autotune on it, and then the lead vocal actually also has some. What I did there is that I have a lead vocal that doesn't have a lot, and then I doubled the lead vocal. That has plenty of it, and then all the back vocals have some. But in this particular case, it was actually okay in the style of music to use autotune. I've spent years practicing and learning my craft as a singer, and I think using pitch correction can actually be a fun, creative tool if the style of music that you are creating allows for it. Otherwise, I don't think it should be used as a crutch or as a shortcut to singing on pitch. I think you really should spend the time necessary to sing on pitch and develop the proper techniques to become a good singer. That is essential. There's a very interesting thing that Dave Grohl said when the Foo Fighters were in that whole no computers allowed thing, let's make it real and imperfect, when they made Wasting Light. I'm going to paraphrase here, but you'll get the essence. He said the human element of music is what's most important. Singing into a microphone, learning your craft, learning to play the guitar, whatever you do, is what people need to do. It's not about being perfect or sounding absolutely correct, and it's not about what goes on in a computer. It's about what goes on in here and in here. I think it's a great approach to think that things don't always have to be perfect and that the human element of music is really what's most important. I really agree with that. But I want to add that if what goes on in here and in here for you is to use a shitload of autotune, I think it's okay. You should go ahead and do that. Just make sure that you don't use it as a crutch or as a shortcut to sing on pitch, and then when you sing your vocals, think that, oh, a plugin can fix any mistake that you made. I think it's really important that you learn your craft, you learn to sing on pitch and become a good singer, and then if you have the chance to use autotune or not, use it in a smart way and use it in a creative way as a creative tool and not as a crutch or a shortcut. So what's your take on it? Is autotune you or your singer's BFF and you can't live without it? You think it should be used sometimes when it's appropriate, or do you think it just created a generation of shitty singers who can't sing on pitch? Let me know in the comments down below. But that is all for now. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed this video. It will really make a difference. Otherwise, Twitter, Instagram, podcast, and Patreon links are all down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.